The Ford Ranger has long been the benchmark ute and the top seller, but it now has a massive target on its back. With new rivals, new tech and even a plug-in hybrid, is the Ranger still the one to beat? Here's what you need to know before popping down your hard-earned cash.
When the current generation Ford Ranger hit the market in 2022, it set a new benchmark in the ute segment. It ushered in new levels of technology and safety, and it also stepped up the comfort levels and changed their expectations in terms of the way a ute drives. No wonder it has a huge target on its back. Like its rivals, the Ranger is available in a whole bunch of different model variations and configurations, but for this review, we are honing in on the 4x4 dual cab variants, which are by far the biggest seller. Even within that though, you've got a whole range of trim levels from your entry level XL and XLS through to XLT, Sport, Tremor, Wild Track, Platinum, and right at the top is a Ranger Raptor, which is sort of a different beast altogether. Its biggest rival is the Toyota Hilux. It's the one that duels it out with the Ranger in terms of outright sales, but there's a whole bunch of other ones as well. Mazda BT50, Nissan Navara, Volkswagen Amarok, the new Kia Tasman, all those sorts of vehicles, and the new breed of utes out of China, the GWM Cannon, BYD Shark 6 for example. As well as 9 airbags, the Ranger introduced new safety features to the ute segment. Things such as emergency assistance, which can automatically alert emergency services after a crash. There's also auto braking available, matrix LED high beams, and blind spot warning. And that blind spot system can even account for trailers. And when you do hook up a trailer, there's a nifty light checking feature that allows you to cycle through the various lights without the need for a second person. The Ranger gets a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty. Now, a lot of brands offer unlimited K warranties, but then mention in the fine print that there is a kilometre limit if you're using the car for commercial purposes. Not Ford. You can travel as far as you want using it for any work purpose and you'll still get the full 5-year unlimited kilometre coverage. Servicing is required every 12 months or 15,000 kilometres. Regular Ford Rangers, and I'm excluding the Raptor from that definition, these days get a choice of 3 drivetrains. From a sales perspective, the heavy lifting is done by either a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel or a 3-litre turbo diesel V6. It's the V6 that has a fair bit more grunt and gives the Ranger a bit of a point of difference from regular utes. But there's another point of difference, and that is a new plug-in hybrid system. It arrived in 2025 and it pairs a 2.3-litre 4-cylinder turbo petrol engine with an electric motor. You can charge it externally and you can get about 30-35 kilometres on electricity alone. So designed to give you the best of both worlds while still giving you the grunt and the other expectations that people want from a Ranger. Utes have been getting bigger over the years, and the Ranger is one of the ones that started that trend. Up front, you get decent space and you also get a pretty familiar layout. Anyone who's been coming out of an SUV, for example, will find things fairly normal in here, from the digital displays, a portrait-oriented center screen, and some proper physical controls, and that's important to have that, I guess, functionality built into it. It's also got good storage around the cabin, and it's got some little luxuries, particularly once you step up to a Platinum model, for example, like we're in here. You've got things like quilted leather, for example, and even a Bang & Olufsen sound system. It's all indicative of how far the ute segment has shifted. In the back there is decent space, but it's not going to set any new benchmarks. You've got reasonable knee room. I've certainly got decent headroom. I don't have a lot of those ute compromises we used to get in the past, things like an upright back seat. So it's not quite at SUV levels, but it's not far off it. And in the rear as well, you get the same sort of attention to detail that you got up front. Of course, this is the business end of a ute, the load area. And the Ranger has decent space. It also can carry, like its rivals, around about a tonne in the back, depending on the model that you get. One of the best features is this step, so it makes it super easy for getting inside, loading things up, all that sort of thing. Now, I touched on the plug-in hybrid before. One negative with that, it's actually got a slightly higher load floor because it's got to fit the battery pack underneath, so you can fit a little bit less in. Still, it's fairly practical, and like the others, it can also tow 3.5 tonnes. Ranger designers have been pushing the boundaries a bit in terms of some of the thoughtful extras they're putting on the car, and this is a good example. You've got the roof rails, which are predominantly there to look pretty cool, but unclip this, spin it round, and do the same thing with the one over there, and then I've got a set of roof racks. It's a 30-second job.
Let MotorScout find the best deal on your new car. Select the car you're looking to purchase on our website. From there, MotorScout will go to work for you, negotiating with all the dealerships in your area. And within hours, you'll receive the best prices and availability on your new car. Ready to get started? Simply visit motorscout.com.au or give us a call.
The Ranger may be a workhorse, but it is surprisingly easy to live with. It's almost like engineers sort of decided, hey, yes, these things are trucks, and yes, they need to do all this hardcore stuff, but does that mean that they need to ride like a billy cart and be pretty agricultural? And I think they answered that pretty resoundingly by saying no, it doesn't need to be. You can actually have a bit more of that SUV-like feel. It also helps that a lot of the development work on the Ranger was done in Australia, so Australians are increasingly demanding more from their utes, and the Ranger delivers on that. It delivers on comfort levels, it delivers on drivability, it steps it up a bit from where we've been previously with utes. The engines too all deliver. The 4-cylinder, for example, is helped out by its 10-speed automatic that is just quite nicely calibrated. Step up to the V6 and you've got a heap more thrust than most utes, and it's pretty quiet too. So it's a good investment in terms of someone who wants a little bit more. So yep, the Ranger is a step up on most utes in the market. Essentially, it's a class act by ute standards. And I say by ute standards because it's still got some of that bucking you get in the ute. It's got a leaf spring live axle rear suspension, so it's pretty rudimentary out the back there. We haven't got any weight in it at the moment, so it sort of, shudders around a little bit. Almost needs something in there to calm it down a bit. But again, by ute standards, it's pretty good. There is one area that this Ranger has been struggling, and that is in reliability. Anecdotal reports suggest that the engines aren't always as reliable as they should be, or at least what Aussies expect. And I guess you take the pinnacle, the Toyota Hilux, it's the one that people hold up and say that rarely has any issues, whereas the engines in the Ranger have in the past had some issues. Sure, there is a warranty to protect you, which is great while it's under the warranty, but even then, it is an inconvenience. If you're out in the middle of nowhere and something goes wrong, then hey, you could be stuck without a car. So from that perspective, it could be better. Short story is, we'd like to see more effort going into ensuring that the Ranger spends more time on the road doing this sort of thing. The Ranger is still a class act, and it's still absolutely at the pointy end of the ute field. It's old school in its thinking, but it's got enough modern technology, enough, extras in there to sort of drag it forward and keep it fresh. The challenge with this car will be maintaining that dominance, maintaining that edge moving forward. There's a heck of a lot of competition, not only from old foes, but also from newcomers, a lot of them out of China, that are piling on the pressure for the Ranger.